Changes following Thursday's Champions League win at the Emirates Stadium. Of course, a home game against Zurich women. Right back, Noelle Moritz makes her first league start of the season. Also returning to the lineup, Katie McCabe, who makes her 100th WSL appearance, along with Vulti, Marnham, Ford, Blackstenius. Once again, Viviana Miedemar has to settle for a place on the bench, along with Lena Hurtig, the Swede, another one of those summer signings who opened up her Arsenal account. 2 goals for her in that Champions League midweek victory. As for the visitors, West Ham United, they make 2 changes following their 3-2 win over Reading. Most notably in goal, Mackenzie Arnold injured her calf later on in that home win against Reading. She was replaced by teenager Sophie Hilliard, who makes her full debut at Meadow Park. The other change sees Abby Lee Stringer come in for Mel Felis, who drops to the bench. And speaking of the bench, just 5 substitutes available for Paul Konchesky and no backup goalkeeper. So the form guide would suggest that Arsenal should be on track to make it 8 wins out of 8 against West Ham United in all competitions. But Paul Konchesky, the visiting manager, is giving some strong words in his pre-match interview. He says they can't be intimidated by Arsenal. They need to play their own game, and they have learnt a lot from already taking on Chelsea and Manchester United so far this season. He felt in those games they were competitive for an hour, and the challenge is to try and hold out a side of such calibre for the full 90 minutes. It's a big task, and we're all moments away from finding out how they get on, but most of the headlines will be pointing to whether or not Arsenal can register a record 13 consecutive Women's Super League victory. They're the only club to go 12 games with consecutive wins. Manchester City have done that once. Can they go outright clear for what many see as the greatest team in Women's Super League history? But West Ham, they've been known to causing an upset already this season, beating teams that many would have perhaps felt that they were the underdogs. Keeping a clean sheet, though, is quite tricky, and Jonas Eidevall's side have been scoring goals by the bagful. 3-1 victory at the Emirates Stadium on Thursday night, and it's a sellout crowd here this evening at Meadow Park, with many anticipating an Arsenal victory. Players and staff take the knee ahead of kickoff. And referee Abigail Byrne gets us underway. Arsenal looking to keep pace with leaders Manchester United, who've maintained their 100% record to the start of the season. 5 wins from 5, yet to concede a goal. Arsenal 4 wins from 4, equally so stingy at the back, yet to be punished in domestic competition. And understandably, the overwhelming favourites here against West Ham United. Captain Kim Little goes for the early ball over the top. Keeping hold of the ball is going to be key for West Ham United. And it's back in Arsenal possession. Moritz plays it straight to a Hammershirt. Smith plays it down the line. Can't quite link up with Kivag. Blackstenius, defenders are backing off it. Tried to play in Marnham. Smith will tidy things up. Testing one then early doors for the 19-year-old Sophie Hilliard. Made her debut last weekend, coming on as a substitute for Mackenzie Arnold, who'd injured her calf. The Australian is set to be sidelined for a further 2 weeks, so this is a huge opportunity, you feel, for the teenager, signed from Charlton in the summer. Can she keep hold of the West Ham #1 shirt? Ruben Moy, nice defensive duties, gives Arsenal opportunity to reset. and make use of this huge Meadow Park pitch. Loose ball by Wooben Moy. Asei, maybe a little bit too keen there to try and play in a teammate. She had space to drive into. It's Arsenal back in possession. Nice turn by Ford, the Australian. Another one of those who was rested in midweek. Jonas Eidevall, the manager, saying that rotation is essential given the amount of fixtures his players will contest, hopefully going deep in all competitions. And here's Blackstenius. Nice drop of the shoulder, looks for the pullback. Fisk read that well. West Ham clear the lines. It's coming straight back to the Hammers goal though. Kivag unable to make it stick. McCabe. Immediately, West Ham showing respect by trying to not get suckered in too closely to Arsenal. Defensive structure key. Fisk with a neat header, cushioned header to Brinsdottir. As West Ham keep possession momentarily, as the poor touch from Hayashi results in an Arsenal throw. Touchline microphones picking up every word that Jonas Eidevall has to say. Says it's a good headache to have with the likes of Miedemar, Iwabuchi, Nobbs and Hertig on the bench. And you can see the referee, Abigail Byrne, tried to play the advantage and does pull it back. Vulti offers up her apologies, so an early set-piece opportunity for West Ham. It's a poor ball from Catley, really, but Brinsdottir read it well. The Icelandic, 5'11". So you would expect her to be the target. Evans, free kick. It's headed back across goal by Arsenal. It's Blackstenius doing defensive duties, and she plays it against Asei. What a thought for an Arsenal goal kick, but the referee's assistant over that far side awards the first corner of the game, and another set-piece opportunity for West Ham United. Brinsdottir, top scorer for the Hammers. She's the target and she gets a head on it. And Zinsberger did well to keep hold of that. She knew contact was coming, but there's the threat. They all knew it was coming for the Icelandic. She out-muscles Little, header on target. Goalkeeper reads it well. Here come West Ham. Ball floated into the box. Asei goes down. The French international looks over his shoulder appealing. Let's have another look at that. It's a slip by Maritz. It wasn't clear as regards to whether there was enough contact to ensure that Vivi Asei, signed from Bayern Munich this summer, was denied a goal-scoring opportunity. A little unnecessary there in terms of the contact. And it will be a West Ham United free kick. Paul Konchesky, assistant manager last summer under Ollie Harder. Now first team manager for West Ham United, and what a start they've had to this campaign. Mead trying to head on as we can hear fireworks being let off in the distance. Little, cute turn. Runs into trouble though. West Ham hold up Arsenal. You can see immediately they want to get back into those banks of 3-3-4, heading back towards their goal. Bodies back behind the ball in numbers, trying to keep Arsenal at bay. As we approach 7.5 minutes played, 0-0. Say looking to close down for West Ham, and that's a loose back pass. Could they be in here, West Ham? Zinsberger read it well. Volti lacking the focus needed early on in this game. Look, nowhere near enough on that. And Kivag bearing down on the goalkeeper. Nice turn from McCabe. You can see there's plenty of water on the pitch. It is just holding up passes if they're not hit with complete conviction. Wubben-Moy just losing her footing there, the England international. So plenty for players of both sides to be preoccupied with. Wubben-Moy picks out Ford, who's now allowed to turn. Australian goes back though, and it's back in the Arsenal half. They're happy to recycle things, to go again. Little cut out by Longhurst. West Ham United's longest serving player. Catley just has to wait for the ball to get to. It's not fizzing across the Meadow Park turf. And the fans finding themselves largely subdued due to the excellent start from West Ham United. Blackstenius' layoff doesn't have enough on it. Mead able to nip in and win the second ball. Here's Ford. Slowed down by a former teammate, Evans. Making her first appearance here back at Meadow Park in opposition colours, Lisa Evans. And that's a miscue from Arsenal. And it's a West Ham United goal kick. Almost 10 minutes played, still scoreless. Food for thought for Jonas Eidevall and his backroom staff. Yet to find themselves behind so far this season. Neat drop of the shoulder by Caitlin Ford. Little trying to move through at speed and tug back from Asseyi. And the referee wants to have a word with the French woman. If my lip reading's correct, that was her warning. You would presume any further acts of such nature will result in a booking. McCabe with the free kick for Arsenal. Sends the ball in, and Prince Dottier does her job, uses her height well, and West Ham try and play their way out from the back. Almost architects of their own downfall there, but that's nice. And space here for Smith, who saw teammates over that right-hand side, but didn't have the necessary quality to pick one of them out. And it's comfortable once again for Arsenal. Neat control by Ford. Tight there on the touchline, and a heavy challenge comes in. Neither player backing down. Shimizu against Ford. Decision goes West Ham United's way. As you can see, West Ham United trying to slow the tempo of this game down. Arsenal would prefer it if they played on the front foot. Zinsberger. Clearance can only find a West Ham shirt. And that's nice from Little. Slaloms past two challenges. Slowed in the tracks though. The West Ham press does its job. Mead keeps the ball in play. Lovely threaded through ball. Marnham with the run. Can't pick out a red shirt. Mead with a chance. Marnham. Bodies on the line stuff for West Ham United. Lovely through ball from Mead. Excellent run by Marnham. Can't find the quality though to pick out a teammate. Mead. That strike wasn't troubling the goalkeeper, but that one certainly was from Marnham. And Stringer with a vital block for West Ham United. In swing in delivery. Stringer got a head on it. Away come West Ham through Longhurst. Looks down the line, not much on, bides the time, does well. Excellent play from West Ham. Trying to not force things, but Arsenal create the error. Chance for West Ham to go again and reset through their goalkeeper. Elliott. Looks long. Both sides struggling to string 3 or 4 passes together here. What can Arsenal offer coming forward once again? Marnham digs out the cross and Shimizu. I don't think that was intentional. To go straight over the top of her own goal, but she knew she had to get something on the cross. There was a red shirt poised at the back post. Risa Shimizu making her first playing experience abroad at club football. And it's, according to the Ballon d'Or rankings, the second best female player in the world, Beth Mead, to take the Arsenal corner. Arsenal player goes down, wants a penalty. Play continues. Marnham's dispossessed by Kivag, but only at the expense of another Arsenal corner. Ruben Moy just conversating, shall we say, with the referee. Let's have a look at this. Asayi. I think for me, the England international has to hold the ground much stronger than that. Another in-swinger. Ruben Moy again challenges. Little takes a touch. Wants too much time. She's crowded out. Volti. Fisk with the header. Isn't able to clear her lines. Anywhere will do from Kivag. Here come Arsenal once again. Mead floats the ball up to Ford, who can't bring it down. Asai tries to lead the West Ham counter, but she's sold a sweet turn there by Leah Volti. And it's back in possession of Arsenal. Over a quarter of an hour gone. Arsenal still yet to hit the target, but certainly looking the most threatening of the two sides at Meadow Park. Latest look at the possession stats does have the home sides approaching 80% of the ball. But it is still the visitors, courtesy of their captain, Brynjers Dottir, with that header early on in the opening 5 minutes. The only player so far to find the target at Meadow Park. 0-0. Mead tries to fizz it out wide, saw the run of Ford. Good defending once again from West Ham. It's just going the other way. They need to have a little bit more composure. Jonas Eiderval, Paul Konchesky. The first time these two have come head to head. Konchesky relying on the support there of his assistants to try and mastermind what would be, with all due respect, a point away at Arsenal would be a big result in terms of what West Ham United's expectations are for this season. Games they do expect to get points from. They won't say it publicly, but this is one that they would have earmarked as a difficult fixture to get anything out of. But it looks as though, from what we've seen from the first 19 minutes, that Arsenal haven't yet found their stride, and that has to be credit paid to the visitors. Ball goes all the way across the box, and the strike's on from Evans. She had time to try and pick a spot, and I think many would say that the Scots should do better. She had a good look at Zinsberger's goal there. It ends up going well wide. But another opportunity for West Ham United. McCabe stayed down on the deck. Say just checking that she's okay. A few gasps from the crowd. Lisa Evans made 79 appearances for Arsenal. Won the WSL title with the Gunners. But now on to her latest chapter, and that's in the colour of West Ham United. McCabe does well to keep the ball in play. Gets the ball back from Catley. Moritz. Blackstenius, not totally convinced she knew exactly what she was doing there with that turn. Handball from Beth Mead. Hilliard with the free kick. Good distance on that. Kivag. Ball across. Good defending from Arsenal. Blackstenius takes the contact from behind. So unnecessary there from Grace Fisk. Experienced player. Maybe she's just concerned about getting beat in behind for pace. Obvious shove in the back. Here come Arsenal. Heavy touch from McCabe, but able to keep possession. Volti has the time and space to do a 180 turn. Catley sees here, attempted through ball deflected. Little finds Mead. Ford. Marnham, cries of shoot. Moritz, too much on that cross. And it's splashed back across goal. Katie McCabe yet to score this season. Just wanted a bit more composure there for Moritz, and over that far side, Evans lets it bounce. Invites the strike from McCabe. Good connection. Oh! The unfortunate spectator looks as though he's going to have to buy himself another fizzy drink. Hopefully that's all. Not a replacement of clothing. Blackstenius. Slowed up by Stringer, but still Arsenal come forward. The attempted dummy by Meads doesn't come off, and it was a little late there. Smith stayed down for West Ham. Reluctantly gets back to her feet. Here come Arsenal. Positivity coming from the West Ham manager, Paul Konchesky. Over 500 appearances as a professional player himself. Worked in the West Ham United academy system and was assistant coach for the women's team last season before taking the reins in May. Arsenal again being forced back to Zinsberger. Press from West Ham, wins them a corner. It's clear the Arsenal players don't agree with that decision. There's no video assistant referee in the Barclays Women's Super League. Let's have a look. Well, to the naked eye, it didn't appear to me that there was a West Ham connection on that ball. So the visitors have their second corner of the evening. It's another header and it's there! But the whistle has blown. Brynje's Dottir denied a fourth goal of the season. Let's look for what the referee deemed as an infringement there, and to me it looks as though Kim Little falls to the ground with very little contact, no pun intended. Let off for Arsenal. She is such a threat from set pieces. Blackstenius wants a foul. Play continues. Brynjersdottir with a heavy touch. Little. Ford. Surrounded by black shirts. Finds the space. Takes on the strike. Comfortable save. Does awfully well here, the Australian. Knows exactly what she wants to do. Create enough space to get the shot off. Good positioning from Sophie Hilliard. Asking a lot there of Asseyi. It's coming straight back to Arsenal now. Evans. Asseyi. Ball down the line. Finds Kivag. Heavy touch, though, from the Norwegian. Fisk with the interception. Hayashi with the ball for West Ham. Cry of good from manager Paul Konchesky. His side beginning to grow in confidence. 2 wins on the spin. You can see here, Little it is who ends up on the floor, but as those pictures will show you, I can't see any reason to suggest that Brynjersdottir is the reason that Scott finds herself on the deck. Understandably, she appeals, especially when she saw the ball nestle in the back of the Arsenal net. One for Paul Konchesky and his staff to forget about. They can't do anything about it now. A chance to regroup as Manuela Zinsberger requires treatment. She was rested for the Champions League win on Thursday. Has played every single minute of the league campaign. And up to Thursday night, the Champions League campaign for Arsenal so far this season. Seems to be the lower part of the leg. So there is an option on the bench. Kaylin Marchesi, the American, who made her debut on Thursday. But it looks as though the Austrian, who's with her in her 4th season for the club, is deemed okay to continue. Paul Konchesky clearly sees the funny side of something over there. But I think he'll be more than happy with half an hour played, the current scoreline, and the fact that, particularly from set plays, his side are offering plenty of questions for Arsenal to try and answer. Defensive duties at the moment. Blackstenius' ball across. Brynjersdottir takes a touch, but can only find Little, who sends it to Ford. Marnham with the pass behind McCabe. Catley. Mead, not the cleanest connection, but it rolls through to Moritz. Again, Little seen so much of the ball. Mead against Smith. Crossing opportunity. West Ham make the connection. Asseyi back working hard. Arsenal player remains on the turf. Here come West Ham United. Kivag couldn't quite get it out of her feet, but will be happy to gain yardage and won't be in any rush to take the throw. Can see plenty of blankets there on the Arsenal bench. Must be a little chilly at Meadow Park. Brigniers-Dottier with the scissor tackle on Ford. The Australian happy to that go down as a late challenge. No further comment or request for the referee to make any further action. Volti tried to get around Kivag, who did well to dispossess it. Just lost the bearing slightly. Found a way onto the sidelines. And the fourth official there, Jack Packman, in dialogue, it's fair to say, with Jonas Eidevall. And for the first time in a long while, we begin to hear noise from the home fans to try and inspire their team, who are currently finding West Ham United a very tough nut to crack. Smith crowded out. Here's Mead. Marnham thought Mead had continued to run. Stringer looking for a Sayi. Smith took too much time there. Mead nipped in. Is that obstruction? No, not according to the referee or her assistant. And Asayi, right idea. Just too much heat on that attempted ball to Kivag. Ruben Moy again. Loose pass, 2 against 1. Oh, Brigniers-Dottier. Oh, and that's going to be the easiest goal for us, surely. It's there. What an absolute mess Arsenal made there at the back. West Ham United gifted a goal, and you can argue it's more than what they deserve from how they've approached this game, particularly from their captain. It's the first time this season that Jonas Eidevall's side have fallen behind, and he will not be happy with this defensive mix-up. Chance there for Catley to clear. She doesn't look where a goalkeeper is, and Brigniers-Dottier somehow scrambles the ball home. It's the simplest of goals for the West Ham United captain. Arsenal 0, West Ham United 1. It was bound to happen at some point, and I'm not alluding to the defensive calamity there, but Arsenal going behind in a Women's Super League match. It's the first goal they've conceded this season. So no clean sheet for Manuela Zinsberger. Not that they'll be overly concerned with that right now. More importantly, they're trailing by a goal to 0. Chance for an immediate reply, but Fisk with a crucial interception. Arsenal corner. Their 4th of the game. Ruben Moy once again battling hard. And Volti this time to be frustrated that decisions are not going Arsenal's way. She's looking to try and play in Kivag, The miscue then forces Catley to try and find her own goalkeeper. And Brynja's Dottir, 5 goals in the last 5 appearances in all competitions for West Ham United. Stringer with the directed header. Asai draws the foul. Play continues. Smith hasn't got much on in front of it. Attempted crossfield ball is read by Ford. She looks to unleash Blackstenius. Dances infield. Meader's square. Gets the return pass, takes on the strike. And that's the first big save of the game for the teenager Sophie Hilliard, who appears to maybe have injured herself in doing so. Nice link-up play. Plenty of power behind the strike. And I think it's the ricochet back off the advertising hoardings. It's hit with such venom that just catches 19-year-old Sophie Hilliard by surprise, but further concerns for both teams higher up the pitch, as we can see from your shot there. Vivi Asai and Kim Little both on the deck. Following that coming together, you can see it would have been deemed a foul by the Arsenal captain, but the referee was happy that West Ham had the ball and wanted to play the advantage. Looks as though Sophie Hilliard is okay as well. So for the time being, both sides reduced to 10, and that's actually a worrying sight for Arsenal fans, that if Kim Little's having to be supported in exiting the field, and yet the decision has already been made. It's an enforced early change for Jonas Eidevall. Kim Little, the captain, goes off. She's replaced by one of the goal scorers from Thursday night, Jordan Nobbs. Mead with the Arsenal corner. Their third of the game. Comes out to Nobbs. That was her first touch of the ball. Wow, what an impact that could have been for the Arsenal substitutes. Marnham. Can she pull the ball back? And deflects behind for another Arsenal corner. Outswinger this time. Strike! Equaliser! Her second touch of the game. Substitute Jordan Nobbs draws her team level. Well, the manager can't take much credit as regards to a tactical change, but full credit to Jordan Nobbs. Called into action. She's barely been on the field a minute. She had one block shot. Here's the second one. No stopping that. 75 seconds on the field. That's all it's taken for Jordan Nobbs to find the back of the net. 2 goals in the last 2 Arsenal appearances. Makes it Arsenal 1, West Ham United 1.
The score now, Arsenal 1, West Ham 1.
So that West Ham United lead lasting only 5 minutes before being pegged back by the Arsenal substitute, Jordan Nobbs. Meads. Longhurst wouldn't be suck it in, but Meads quick to get on with things, immediately sends the ball down the line. Looking for Blackstenius. And it's now the home side with their tails back up once again. But they have to be careful. These return balls back to Zinsberger. They were made to pay a heavy price for not quite focusing in the build-up to that Breniers-Dottir goal. But ever since then, the action's all been in the West Ham United half. Arsenal can't continue their 100% clean sheet record in the league, but they can look with still 45 minutes plus to maintain their 100% winning start to the Barclays Women's Super League season. And the game is swinging back in their direction. McCabe just had to lunge ever so slightly to ensure she controlled that ball. Ford. Nobbs has been straight into the thick of the action. Ford. Stood up well by Shimzu, but space here for Moritz, but the ball just didn't fall kindly for the Swiss international, and it's Asseyi back on defensive duties for West Ham. Longhurst didn't really have anywhere to go, does well to win the throw. In the 45th minute, Arsenal 1, West Ham United 1. The worrying sight for Arsenal fans of their captain, Kim Little. She's not hanging around. She's off to seek further medical treatment. Play continues. Meads asking a lot for her to try and direct the effort goalwards. But it's been a good response from Jonas Eidevall's side since going behind in the 35th minute. And there will be a minimum of 5 added minutes for Paul Konchesky's side to try and get to the break. A good puff of the cheeks there. He knows his side are hanging on at the moment. They've angered Arsenal by taking the lead. Cries of handball, which referee Abigail Byrne eventually agrees with. And as we can see, West Ham, understandably, not in a rush. And once again, another opportunity for them to try and find their goal scorer, Breniers-Dottir. It's going in her direction. Mead goes down. Play continues, though. Nope. Wubben-Moy with a lot firmer connection there. She's certainly learned her lesson. A couple of loose passes in this game already. Ensuring a clean strike when playing it back to Zinsberger. And that's nice from Arsenal to get themselves up the field. 2 against 1. The ball goes in. Too much of a delay there from Blackstenius. Mead was away. Nobbs battling hard against Breniers-Dottir. The Icelandic wins back possession for West Ham. Evans against McCabe. And it did look as though there was a stiff forearm from the Irish defender against her former teammate, Lisa Evans. No complaints from the West Ham winger. Ford. Blackstenius. Sort of dribbles to Mead, and Marnham had already moved by the time Mead had looked down to play the pass. And Asseyi having to come awfully deep and help out with defensive duties. The French striker playing herself into trouble. Clearly didn't want help from Beth Mead in getting back to her feet. It is a West Ham United throw as we approach almost 3 minutes played and the minimum of 5 to be added on here at Meadow Park. Arsenal 1, West Ham United 1 in the Barclays Women's Super League. Wubben-Moy finds Marnham. Nobbs gets away from Hayashi. Ford has to be slowed slightly in her tracks there. Lightning counter-attack here from Jonas Eidevall's side. Blackstenius wants it over the right, goes left. Ford's fierce touch takes the ball back behind it. McCabe to Volti. Kivag once again working hard across that West Ham United front line. Striding forward though is Wubben-Moy. This is nice from Arsenal under pressure. Stringer with the late challenge, which the referee clearly would have seen, but happy for play to continue. 40 seconds of the minimum 5 minutes added time left to play here in the first half. Volti. Mead. Nice run from Moritz. Can she dig out the cross? Goes low. Longhurst looked to have conceded the corner, but the referee, Abigail Byrne, decides that is enough. Wow. The visitors with a shock lead. After 35 minutes, the error from Catley trying to play the ball back to Zinsberger allowed Breniers-Dottier a simple tap in. Kim Little was forced off with an injury. The substitute Jordan Nobbs came on and with his second touch of the ball unleashed one hell of a strike to find the back of the net, which means at half-time, Arsenal 1, West Ham